It started with a disappearance, and for the young maid living inside that massive old mansion, those 30 minutes felt like a nightmare. The house was too quiet, too still, too cold. The girl moved nervously from room to room, calling out with shaky breaths. "Mama's mama." No answer. She checked the kitchen, the sitting room, the backyard. Nothing, but the old woman's phone was still ringing somewhere inside the house. That was the terrifying part, because nobody had seen her leave. Panic slowly crawled into the maid's chest as she grabbed her own phone and quickly dialed one of Mama's grandsons. The line connected. "Good evening, sir. Please, I don't know what to do anymore." Alex immediately sensed the fear in her voice. "What happened?" "I've been looking for Mama for almost 30 minutes. I can't find her anywhere. I asked the neighbors. Nobody saw her leave the compound." There was a short silence on the line. Then Alex sighed. "Where were you before she disappeared?" The maid swallowed nervously. "She sent me to buy suya and..." Alex cut her off instantly. "Then she's not missing." The maid froze. "What?" "She does this all the time," Alex said, sounding more tired than surprised. "She probably sneaked out while you were gone. Don't panic. One of my siblings must know where she is." The maid slowly lowered herself onto the edge of the bed. Her hands were still shaking. 3 weeks. That was how long she had worked in that house. And in just 3 weeks, Mama had already turned her life upside down. One day the food was too hot. The next day it was too cold. Sometimes Mama refused to eat completely. Sometimes she demanded midnight baths. Sometimes she disappeared on purpose, just to create panic. Every maid before her had already run away. But somehow, she was still there. The exhausted girl locked her door and entered her tiny room. She switched on the green night light beside the bed and finally lay down. Then suddenly, she jumped up in fear. A strange feeling swept through her body. The room suddenly didn't feel empty anymore. Quickly, she switched on the bright white light. And that was when she saw her. Mama, lying comfortably on the other side of the bed, like a ghost that had been there the whole time. The maid nearly screamed. "Mama." The old woman calmly adjusted her wrapper and frowned. "Turn off that light. You know I don't sleep with bright light." The maid stared at her in complete disbelief. "Mama, what are you doing here? You scared me." Mama ignored the panic completely. Instead, she reached under the bed and brought out her phone. The maid's eyes widened. The old woman looked at the screen. 8 missed calls, she muttered. The maid almost lost her mind. "Mama, do you know how worried I was?" At that exact moment, the maid's phone rang again. Alex was calling back. Relieved, the maid answered quickly. "Sir, Mama is here." Before she could finish, Mama suddenly jumped up, snatched the phone from her hand, and ended the call. "Why would you tell them?" Mama snapped. The maid blinked in shock. "Mama, please give me my phone." "Can't you keep a secret?" the old woman hissed. "The moment you saw me here, you wanted to report me immediately." The phone started ringing again. Mama rejected the call instantly. The maid reached for it again, but Mama pulled it away like a stubborn child. Then the old woman folded her arms and said something that completely stunned the girl. "If you want your phone back tomorrow." She pointed at the bed. "Then I'm sleeping here tonight." The maid stared at the tiny bed in horror. "With you?" Mama nodded proudly. Yes. There's no way both of us can fit on this small bed. Mama shrugged dramatically. Well, if you insist. Then she calmly climbed onto the bed and faced the wall. Sleep fast, she muttered, before my giants arrive by 6 in the morning. The maid stood there speechless. Giants? What kind of woman was this? And deep down, the girl began realizing something terrifying. Maybe the stories were true. Maybe this old woman really was impossible to live with. But what the maid didn't know was that Mama had already started liking her. And in that house, that was where the real trouble always began. The next morning, the atmosphere inside the mansion felt tense. Mama sat proudly in the sitting room, while Alex listened to the maid explain everything that happened the previous night. I barely sleep anymore in this house, the girl complained softly. Every day it's one problem after another. Alex nodded sympathetically. I understand. Mama immediately frowned. You people are discussing me like I'm not sitting right here. Alex laughed. We are not judging you, Mama. Before the conversation could continue, another grandson entered the house. Kelvin. Unlike Alex, Kelvin looked exhausted before he even sat down. One look at his grandmother was enough to drain any peace from his body. Mama, good morning. Mama answered proudly while the maid quietly excused herself. The moment she left, Kelvin leaned closer to Alex. So where exactly did they find Mama? Alex burst into laughter. She was hiding under the maid's bed. Kelvin nearly choked. What? She even seized the girl's phone. Kelvin laughed so hard he had to hold his stomach. Mama, if you can fight a young girl over a phone, then you can fight professionally. Mama smiled proudly. I don't want to fight, I want to coach champions. The brothers laughed. But the laughter didn't last long. Because suddenly, Mama's expression changed. And that familiar emotional guilt began creeping into the room. This is my problem with all of you, she muttered sadly. None of my children have time for me anymore. Alex immediately sat upright. Mama, please. No, she continued dramatically. Life has been unfair to me. Kelvin rubbed his forehead. Here we go again. Then Mama finally revealed the real issue. I'm tired of this maid. Both brothers froze. What? Mama crossed her arms stubbornly. I've done everything possible to make her leave, but she refused. Alex looked genuinely frustrated. Mama, do you know how hard it was to find someone willing to stay here? Kelvin sighed deeply. For 3 years, every maid has run away. Mama suddenly brightened up. Then I should move in with one of you. Immediately, both brothers avoided eye contact. Kelvin pointed at Alex. You take her. Alex pointed back. You take her. Mama watched both of them carefully. And the disappointment on her face was impossible to hide. So none of you want me. Kelvin panicked instantly. That's not what we mean. But Mama had already entered full emotional mode. After all I've done for this family. Then suddenly, she stopped. Her expression hardened. What exactly did I do that was so terrible? The brothers exchanged awkward looks. Because they both knew the answer. Mama had once given alcohol to Kendra's children. Little children. And Kendra had never truly forgiven her for it. Mama stormed away angrily. The brothers looked at each other. and burst into laughter the moment she disappeared inside. But from behind the curtain, Mama was secretly watching them with the most terrifying expression imaginable. Like a woman already planning her next battle. And somewhere deep inside that mansion, another disaster was already waiting to happen.